Hey guys, what's up? So welcome to another episode of Movie Talkies. Today we're going to be doing
Fantastic Four, the much anticipated, very exciting new reboot. The fourth attempt at trying to make Fantastic Four good.
It was good.
It was no, okay. We're gonna rip this movie. So
any of you that like this movie,
good for you. Good for you.
you are brave.
But yeah, this one it was a tough one to get through.
Oh,
So-
no, I was gonna fall asleep. I honestly, there were multiple parts where I was gonna fall asleep.
So Gurd, why don't you start us off with what you did like?
Okay, so the first thing I liked was the transformation scene. I thought it was very well paced. It kept me on the edge of my seat. Well done. You know, all the characters were very, very interesting to see in this new other dimension, this new world.
It was believable too.
Yeah, it was very believable.
For, like being like interdimensional.
Yeah, it was a believable film up at that point. What I also liked was when Victor Von Doom came back. It was very good. It was a very different scene. It set the tone well. It set his character up as a freaking badass.
Like that was cool. I liked the whole part where he was just that guy would tell him, "So Victor, we're gonna help you." The guy, buddy, just looks at him and melts his brain. Like,
Yeah, he was like, help? Who said anything about help?
yeah,
Right.
and then he's just walking through the halls and melting
Yeah,
his
just
brain.
boom.
boom.
And
he
like,
just
and
looks
I was like, this is a PG movie, right? I was like checking my ticket. I was like, this is a PG movie. The CGI, it was well done.
well, yeah, it was actual CGI this time because last time was practical effects.
Yeah, it was just the guy in a rubber suit. Like, no, it actually looked like rocks this time. It was very well done. The only thing that kind of fell off to me was the eyes. I couldn't really connect with the eyes as much because it was just weird. It was like, you have rock and there's the eyes.
He kind of reminded me of like he looked like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle a little.
Yeah, he did a little bit, right? And I'm like, oh god, that's another horrible movie.
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about that transformation scene because that was it was like the most crucial part of the film.
Yeah.
So I do think that like it was well done in the fact that you know when Ben is stuck in the door and he's like he asks me to help him out, or when Victor gets pulled down into the like the energy,
and then
was cool.
Johnny goes and then Johnny sets on fire.
Yeah, like that was kind of like the whole time I was on the edge of my seat and I was just like, wow, this is actually good. Like it's starting to pick up because like the whole time before it was like such a slow pickup.
It was so slow.
But the problem is, Gurge, like I looked at my time at that point, and the movie's only 2 hours, and at that point, we're an hour and a half through the film. So like, it's just starting. It's just like, wait, so what are they gonna do for the next half hour? Like this. So it was just poorly timed. But I do want to say
that was one of the better scenes.
Yeah, that was the best.
That was the best scene,
best
actually, to be honest. Like everyone's transformation made a lot more sense this time around, right?
Instead of just like floating in space.
Floating in space and like this montage of like the storm hitting them and they're like stretching and like everything.
I liked Susan Storm. She was hot.
Susan Storm.
Anyways,
Kate Mara.
Yeah, Kate Mara. She did a fantastic job.
Fantastic.
Franklin Storm, I thought he was pretty cool. Like
Franklin Storm was
had like an
really cool.
epic voice.
I love his voice.
My children. It was like almost Batman, but not really.
And he also narrated the teaser, which was I thought was really cool.
I thought he had a good role in like assembling the Fantastic Four. Like Torch CGI, that was good. I liked. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I mean, and I won't lie. Like the CGI for the Torch in the first one,
wasn't bad either.
Captain America, like it was pretty cool.
It wasn't bad either.
But it was pretty cool. And it wasn't like every time flame on. Like at least it wasn't like
no. He wanted when he transformed, he just transformed. He didn't say flame on every time.
Like well, he did like once or twice.
Yeah.
So the other dimension was cool. I liked the green energy. I wish they kind of like explained it a little more.
The green energy that was
like it was cool. Like, but it was just like okay, so this is the stuff that gives them superpowers. Like, what is it? Like,
yeah, it's kind of like it was just what do you call it? It was just a plot tool. Like it was just they didn't really develop the green energy.
No, they didn't. They didn't develop the whole interdimension at all. Like where it was like oh, this is planet what? Like the planet Alpha.
Zero.
Okay, planet Zero. So yeah, they didn't develop it at all. I had no idea where it was. Like you'd think there would be some more scientific evidence behind where
explanation.
It was kind of like it was just like okay, this is it.
Okay, so this we already mentioned this one, the pacing. It was very slow in the beginning. It starts off very slow. There was a lot of things that they could have just done in 15 minutes, but it took them like an hour to do the entire thing, right?
Yeah.
Also, it was it was like it picked up, it dropped, it picked up, it dropped, it picked up, it dropped. It was very like non-linear. Like
yeah, the problem was, Gurge, was like it would they spent so long trying to develop this Reed Richards and Ben Grimm relationship,
right?
And it was just it wasn't
well. Like it was very awkward.
There was no chemistry. Like the first scene. Okay, I want to go off about this at the science fair.
Oh jeez.
Okay, so clearly Reed Richards brings this thing from a dimension back in, like he takes it there and brings it back, and this dumbass is in front of him is just like, oh, this isn't a magic show. Like this guy literally like put things into the next dimension and brought it back, and like you're denying him, like
right, like
that is just so stupid.
And then Franklin Storm and Susan Storm are just
show up
at any high school science fair. Like there have been no news reports of Reed Richards even developing this.
Yeah.
Or like they're not even watching him develop this. Like it's so weird. There's no character development in the story. With Ben Grimm, like it seems like he was just forced into the story. It's like they filmed everything and then they were like, oh crap, we forgot Ben Grimm. So then they filmed Ben Grimm's parts. He doesn't even talk to Susan Storm.
Yeah, I don't think they had one line of dialogue.
There was no interaction between the two of them.
Well, like that's another thing too. When they become like the Fantastic Four, like she just like that all of a sudden have this chemistry, and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, we have superpowers. Okay, we're gonna put a bubble around you, like
it's so
it was
weird.
Yeah, it was a weird relationship with all of them.
He jumped around a lot.
Yeah.
All the montages weren't very clear for me.
It's not that they weren't clear. It's just like there was no establishment of time. You know, like it was
other than the 1 year later.
Yeah,
like 2 years later.
Okay, but even in when they were in the lab building the thing, like I felt like that was all happening in one
day. Like
it didn't seem like a stretch of time. Like it was just it didn't leave the room. It didn't show them. I hardly know. I think the only thing was that they changed costumes. That was the only
change costumes.
Showed difference.
That's all. And then there were a lot of awkward cuts and transitions. Like it just cut to black, and then like wait there for like 2 seconds and it could go to the next scene. It was very awkwardly edited. I felt like it jumped around a lot for me, and I was like, at times it was just like, what?
It almost felt like they were trying to piece it together. Like they were just like, okay, you know what? Like we gotta put this together, and it's just like it's the way it is.
Yeah, like I feel like they cut a lot of the movie out.
It was very rushed. Yeah, it seemed like they had a lot more. Like because the story seemed like it was there. It had potential.
Right. Yeah. Like a lot of the things in the movie, I was like, oh, like I wish they developed this more.
Yeah, I wish there was this. I wanted to see more of Ben Grimm and Reed Richards. I wanted to see the love interest between Reed Richards and Susan Storm.
Oh.
But like they tried to make that, so I'm going to talk about that now. With the Reed Richards and Susan Storm relationship, I wanted to see that. Like
that was something interesting.
And I would have liked to see like that be a thing between him and Victor Von Doom, because clearly Victor Von Doom had some interest in Susan Storm before. So they talked about having some previous relationship there, but they never.
Okay, so Victor and Susan have this relationship. And then
when they mention to, they like address it, but then they never go back to it.
They never go back to it. And then Reed and Susan have this awkward, like really awkward.
I understand where they were going. Like, okay, so they have like they meet in the library, so he's trying to like that's the first time they really talk besides the science fair. So it's like okay, whatever. But she doesn't talk to him. She talks to him for like 3 seconds. She's like, oh yeah, I like music. I find patterns.
Yeah,
finds patterns in music, and then Reed is like, I like this book, Captain Nemo or whatever. And so then later on, that's how she tracks down Reed Richards, and he goes because she remembered that one book that he said.
It was just plot device after plot device.
Yeah, and then another thing I didn't like was like how all this like they have like 10 lines of dialogue together, and like they suddenly fall in love when like Reed's sleeping and she flicks his ear and the machine turns on, and I thought that was a little silly. Like it was forced. I wanted to see more development. And
it felt very rushed.
Yeah, it was very poorly developed, which is too bad because I thought it was there.
It had potential.
If this movie was 4 hours long, then maybe a week. Or they just like what I was gonna talk about. Yeah, the ultimate movie sin. Like I was just during the whole theater, the whole theater heard me. I'm sorry I was that guy, but in the last 5 minutes, this is like spoiler. It's not really a spoiler, but they're like, let's come up with a name for ourselves.
And then Ben's just like,
Ben's just like.
Fantastic.
This place, because they get a new place, and like, this place is fantastic. And he's like, wait, what? And I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then they're just like, fantastic. And then they just cut. I was just like, and I was just like, at that point, I'm like, I'm out. Peace, good night. That right there was just, that movie summed up. Just a big movie sin. It was just a big cliche is what, that's how we're going to wrap up.
This movie was just a big cliche. You know what? I'm a generous guy. I'll give this a 1.5.
I'm gonna give it a 1. It was a 1 star for me.
So there you guys. You've heard it from us.
That's our review on Fan Four Stick.
See you next time. We're gonna be doing the Deadpool trailer review.
See you guys.
Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed that last episode of Movie Talkies, and if you did, don't forget to like us and subscribe to our channel. Also, please check out our latest film, Trials and Tribulations, and our last episode of Movie Talkies. We'll see you guys later.